Hello, day 3. I was hoping this morning that we'd actually have some snow. It is really cold, and we did get a little bit of snow overnight, but sadly there's been a little bit of rain this morning, and unfortunately it wasn't the frozen type, so we've got no snow. I really was, as I say, hoping for it, because that way we could have done some sort of Tai Chi in the snow, which would have been quite good. But apparently it's going to be snowing later on. I may come down, I don't know, and just do a little bit, but if not, this will be the video for today. Today what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to add to the ways of standing. Now, day 1 and day 2, you've done a bee, an eagle, a bear, a horse, a riding horse. You did a dragon yesterday. So we're going to add a new one today, okay? But before that, we have to bow. So can you remember what the actual bow's called? I'm sure some of you can. Okay, have a think. It's called holding the moon. So bring your hand across the front of your face, hold the moon, gentle fist, bring your feet together. What way of standing is that? Those who said B, you got it correct. Okay, bring your cloud across, melt round and bow. Okay, so as I said, you're going to be, you're going to an eagle, you're going to bear, a horse, a riding horse and a dragon. Now I'll go through those one by one now, and then what I'm going to do then is I'm going to add on a brand new way of standing that loads and loads of people will have seen this. You'll have seen this from a particular film. Okay, so if you put your feet together, as we were saying, that is a B stance, a B stance, okay? If you make a V or V shape with your feet, I'll lift my bottoms up so you can see. That's an eagle stance. And if you remember from the other day, the eagle stance is your feet are pointing to where you're going to move to next. And sometimes you'll see people, they'll come up, they'll touch, and then they'll move forwards into another sort of position from there. But it's always where the foot is going. It's never pointing that way and then all of a sudden they move down the middle. It's 2 movements. What they do is they prepare to move to the next position. Okay, and that's really good, efficient use of movement. Alright, so eagle stance. Lift your heels up in the air, turn and drop them down. And you should find that you've got about 1 spare shoe width between your feet. 1 spare shoe width, okay? Don't worry if it's a little bit more. If it's a little bit less, then your eagle stance needs to be a bit wider when you're going from that position, or a bit more pointy, sort of like 2 o'clock and 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock, this sort of thing. And when you lift up, you drop down. If you're just doing this from a normal position, just look down and make sure you've got about 1 spare shoe width. Definitely at least 1, but no more than 2. Okay, go out a bit wider. So this is a what? Horse stance. Now, as I said in day 2, what do you have to do to make it a horse stance? You can be standing around, you can be standing waiting in a queue somewhere, and you can have your feet like that. But to make it a horse stance, you have to do something particular, and that is to bend your knees slightly. So if you'll notice my head now, it's going to go down a little bit. So I'll do a horse stance there. And in effect, what you're doing is just sitting on the horse. Okay? So feet are shoulder width apart. So if you do this, you should just be able to touch the tops of your legs or tickle the tops of your legs with your fingers, that sort of thing. Then you know that you've got shoulder width. All right? And then remember, you've got to sit on the horse. There. Okay? So that's your horse stance. Now the riding horse stance, had we had some snow, I would have been able to use the footprint. So I don't know if you're watching this and you've got some snow, and if you are brave enough to go outside, and I'd encourage you, I know it seems crazy, but if you get wrapped up, you go outside, you'll feel the benefit of all the elements around you, and not the stuff, you know, where you're stuffed into the house and this sort of thing. It's much better when people get outside, much better when you're in the outdoors and you're in the open air, this sort of thing. It's so much better for you. You feel better for it, and you can do this. So if you're in a horse stance, lift your foot up, step over the footprint. So now that footprint will be right in the middle of your body. Okay, and start to bend your knees just a little bit there. So you sit on the horse, get the reins, pull them back, turn them over, tuck them in. Okay, and sit on the horse. All right, now if you remember from the other days, when we've done this, you will start to feel it ache in you here, there. As I've said before, if it's a searing pain, stop. Don't do it. Come straight up, shake your legs off, have another little go at it and see if it is, because you never know, it could just be like a nerve or something like that that's stopping you doing it. But if it is a searing pain again, just stop it and give it a couple of days, and then just try it again and see how you feel. If it's a burning sort of pain, so it's not sort of like an automatic of those, if it's a burning pain, that's what we're after. A little ache here. And if you get any good at it, you'll drop, 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 this sort of thing, okay? So you'll feel these legs working, you'll feel these muscles above your kneecaps working. Also, the backs of your legs, your calf muscles, and also your bottom. It will really work those things. So it doesn't need a lot, but if you stay there for a couple of minutes, you'll start to feel this building up, and you think, wow, that's a really cool exercise without going mad, all right? Without jumping around all over the place. You find that you concentrate the actual positions in your body to build those muscles up, all right? Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to do the one from yesterday. So if you remember, the one from yesterday was called a dragon stance, all right? So dragon stance. So you're going to put one foot forward. So if I'm mirroring this for you, this would be your right leg. I know it's my left, but obviously we're facing each other. So if it's your right leg forwards, it means your right hand's got to go up in the air and it bends back. It's right in front of your forehead. And your other hand has to go out and it bends back. And it's right in front of the center of your ribs there, in front of your chest. There, okay? So bent front knee, bent arms, both of them. Back leg straight but relaxed. Don't make it a tense, never tense, okay? There. All right, so that's your dragon stance. So if I do this in two directions like we did on day 2, if we go this way, you can see the front knee bending there, and you can see that arm up here and that hand there. Okay, and this leg here, relaxed but straight. Okay, there. All right, if we do it on this direction there, we go forwards, bend, there. Okay. Now, some people have often got sort of confused when they do a dragon stance and the distance of the actual front leg. The distance for the front leg really, ideally, should be around about one normal walking pace. So if I walk towards you, if I walk sort of 1, 2, 3, and then I put my leg out there, it's about one step. It's not this. It's not a big lunge like that and then like that. It's not that. It's just a walking pace, around about that sort of thing, like a walking pace, and then stop, front knee bends, arms go up, and that's a really, really good dragon stance. You've got to remember your arms are nice and relaxed, your legs are relaxed, and you just literally go there. Okay? Now, the new one for today. I'm guessing most people watching this has almost certainly seen this. I go back to the old, the original Karate Kid film, and right at the end of it, it was the signature move at the end, and it's actually taken from Tai Chi, but it was a signature move. And Mr. Miyagi's stood there and he's watching Daniel in the middle of the competition, and it's the final, and then all of a sudden He lifts his knee up, he brings his arms out to the side, and he stands there, and the other guy walks towards him. Okay? It's called a crane stance. And your arms lift up like a crane's wings, and your knee lifts up, but it lifts up so you could balance a bowl of water on the top. Okay? So it's not there. Right? Even if you put your foot down, it's not there. Unless you have any health condition where you are struggling with your balance, where you are struggling with your hips, or with any muscular issues, this sort of thing. If you can get your knee, so your knee's lifted up, so your knee comes up here, you can get your knee there, that's where I want it. If you can't, you get it to a position where you feel comfortable, and remember what I said earlier, where it's not a searing pain. Now, I've taught people in the past who've had major balance issues, and just literally lifting their heel off the floor is what they can do. If that is what you can do, that is perfectly fine. That's a start. Okay, that's a start. It's not got to be professional, but if you can do it, do it. If you can't do it, that's fine. All right, so I'll show you the version that I'm hoping most of you can, but if you can't, like I say, just lift it to where you feel comfortable, and then maybe over the days, maybe you know, you can go a little bit higher, maybe, who knows. If you can't, then that's fine, you stay where you are, and it's still great for you. Okay, so if we take our wings out to the side, all right, and then if you can, lift there, okay, and then down. Now you'll find one of the things you do, and I'm on loads of tufts of grass here, but what you'll find is that you'll start to wobble sometimes when you do that. What you have to do is you have to bend the standing leg. What I mean by that is if this is in the air, if I just do it just slightly up, and you find, oh, I'm all over the place, bend your standing leg. So sink your standing leg there, right? And you'll suddenly find you don't wobble as much. I'm not saying you're not going to wobble, you might, but you won't wobble as much. It's the same principle in a lot of in all Tai Chi. You don't do things stood up and walking around like a tree, you know, big and tall. What you do is you actually sink. And you'll notice that with all the stances, they always sink. You sink and you use the floor to give you the balance to stand straight, okay? Then you use your body and you put your muscles in certain positions, and you'll find your balance goes absolutely up through the roof if you do this. All right, so crane stance. If you lift your right leg, you're going to have a right crane, left leg, left crane. So if we lift up your knee, okay, so lift up, wings out. Bend your standing leg, okay, and then down. All right, you feel comfortable with that? Change your legs. Lift up your left, okay, so lift up, and then down. And you'll notice, I've done this for years, you'll notice there's not a lot of wobble in what I do. And that's because this standing leg is taking all of the wobble, a little bit like a shock absorbers, you know, in your cars, this sort of thing. As you're going along, you've got 4 shock absorbers, one over each wheel, over each tyre, and they're taking all the hits and bangs from the floor, that anything, you know, uneven ground, this sort of thing, anything that gives you, it's taking that away. You still feel it, but not as much. You took the shock absorbers out of a car, you'll be bang, 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 everywhere you go, everywhere you go. So that's the crane stance, okay? That's the new one for today. It'll take a little bit of practice. It'll take a little bit of effort. And like I say, if you can't get your knee up, so you were confident enough about getting a bowl and putting the bowl on there, right? And it not sliding off, that sort of thing. So think of, I mean, you could try this if you want, probably not when it's cold, and probably with a plastic bowl. If you took a bowl or a plastic cup or something, you put a little bit of water in it and you lift your knee up, okay, place it on and try and stand there and keep it like that, all right? Then you can put it down. Take it off your leg, obviously, unless you want to get your leg wet. All right, so we're going to do warm up. All right, now it is starting to rain here. We may hopefully get some flakes of snow. I'm filming on my phone, on the old iPhone, so it is waterproof. But if some sort of water gets on the lens, I won't know. But it has just started to sort of like start to pick up with the rain a little bit. So fingers crossed we get some white stuff. All right, so I'm going to put the warm up on now. If you remember from the other days, if you're with somebody now, I want you to pick somebody to start. When I say change, somebody else has got to lead the session, okay? Has got to lead in your house. So if one of you starts off doing whatever you're going to do, as soon as I say change, somebody else does that, and then everybody copies them, okay? So it's a lot of fun. Again, the music I'm using is something that I've done. This way we don't have any issues with people saying, oh, you're playing stuff out of the charts or something like that, and you've got to give us loads and loads of money. This is, you know, it's just the way they seem to go. But I'm going to start it off, so it'll be 10-15 seconds. I'll press the start button, I'll come back, and then we'll jump around for 3 minutes or so, okay? So, see you in 10. Okay, just gently walk on the spot, okay? Sunday again. You ready to change? Change. The greenhouse is busy, it's pruning again. Everything's easy. And change. I like it. Like it. Change. Sisters in bed. Mother is shouting to her. Pack up your dolls. Dinner is ready. Go
Change.
tell Dad. The whole house smells good. I look at the street, the scenes ain't exactly the same. The windows are playing.
Change.
Songs. I like it. I like it.
Change again.
Don't think I'm wrong. I'm singing songs, just watching
You ready to change?
Sunday songs.
Change. Change. And change.
I like it. I like it.
And change.
I like it. I like it.
Change again.
I like it.
Okay, lots of fun. Don't forget, be as silly as you like. You can be really, really silly moves. Try and keep them safe, okay? Don't suddenly get mum or dad trying any headstands or anything, unless mum or dad can do that. And like I said, I think it was yesterday, that's fine. You can do it. Build yourself up to things. Don't suddenly go, I can remember I used to do this 20 years ago. You try it, and your body's not used to it. The next thing you know, things are cricking and cracking and pulling, and you end up injured. Okay, so remember, always build, 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 like a good house. Good foundations, yeah, good bricks all the way up, good roof. Always build up, never go here. That's often no foundations, especially if you've not done something for a long time. Okay, so I'm gonna do first 3 moves from Tai Chi, and then I'm gonna add on a new move. Not a difficult move actually, but again it's going to involve a little bit of balance for you. So the first 3 movements that you did, the first one, if you remember, you stood in a horse stance. So if we all stand in that horse stance, remember, bend your knees, relax your shoulders, relax the whole of your body. Now lift your arms up, breathe in and breathe out. So you're breathing in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Okay, so we'll try that again. So lift up and breathe in, and then breathe out. Okay, next movement, put your arms around the ball. All right, lean over, turn on your heel, open your arms, breathing in, and then open out your chest, and then flap your wings. So turn your wrists and go like that. As soon as you do that, start to come back and breathe back out. Cross your arms, turn, breathe in, breathe out. Okay? Now, next movement, when you do that there, you come back to here, step forward on your right leg, lift your arms up like the first movement. So lift up. But when you get there, sink back, okay? Lift the front foot, put that behind you, and take your hands down past that and stretch up behind. Then come back up and lift up. And then sink back again, but on your other leg, and just step back, okay? So the first movement, the crane wakes up, or crane wakes up and down. Very, very important. Most important movement, I believe, in Tai Chi. Very, very, very good for many, many, many things. Even self-defense, okay? When you turn, take your weight on this leg. This heel should be there to keep your balance. So weight on that leg, so you're putting some good, solid weight onto that. There, open, breathing in, flap your wings, come back, cross over, take your weight onto this leg, open, breathing in, breathing out. Okay? Crane catches the breeze. Cross your hands, step forwards, lifting up, sinking back, lift up your front leg, place that behind you, turn, notice I turn on that heel, turn, horse stance this way, turn your waist, look behind, stretch, come back up, and then step back. Last movement from yesterday, from day 2, crane stretches its wings. Or if you remember that nice analogy I gave you with regards to the water from the ocean. So the waves gather, and then the water pushes on and up the beach, comes back, gathers back to the ocean gathers up the beach. Okay? You go forwards, your fingers, your arms, your hands, the water gathering, lifting up it goes. Sink back, take your front leg up, put it behind you, your fingers are the water, so the water, the waves crash up the beach. And then the water comes back down the pebbles, back down the sand, back to the ocean, and then another wave, and it sits you back, okay, into your horse stance there. So they were the 3 moves. You'll find on some days I go a little bit more in depth into the certain moves, this sort of thing. What I'm trying to show you at the moment is just sort of like basic things to get you moving, to get you interested in doing these sorts of things, but they're just basic movements. You get masters, people out there that have been doing this for many, many years. I've been doing this now since I was around 18 years old. Various things, various styles, various people showing me all sorts of different things, and you do it for years and years and years and you still don't get it, and it's okay not to get it. I'd rather be a person, and I hope people are who's looking, I'd rather be a person who, as the phrase goes, is the glass is half empty, but it also means it's half full. It always is down to your own interpretation. If you're thinking, wow, I had nothing in there, and then all of a sudden the water's going up, you're pleased because you're learning all this. You're getting more water in your glass, more substance in there. If you're a person thinking, oh wow, I had all of this and I've lost all of that, no, you've not lost all of that at all. You haven't. You've learned from there to here. You've learned those lessons of letting go. You've learned those lessons of it is okay for that to happen. It's when things like that happen when you get taught, probably taught even more than when you think the water's going up in the cup. Yeah, you get more, probably more teaching from it coming this way, because this is teaching you to let go. This is teaching you your mistakes. This is teaching you, and when I say mistakes, I mean mistakes that are relevant to you. Somebody may be looking on it and thinking it's absolutely incredible what you're doing, but you might think, wow, I'm making all these mistakes, and you're kind of beating yourself up over something, but everybody else is going, well, I don't understand why you're being like that, because yeah, actually it's really good what you're doing. Okay, so it's the ability to let go. So glass half full, always a great place to be. Glass half full. Somebody turns around to you and they say to you they're a master at anything, the glass is already not as full. The glass already, you think they're here, glass full. But no masters, no true masters genuinely think they know everything about everything. People who are the true masters are people that teach you. Remember, in this country, our masters used to be, in the olden sort of schooling states, a master would be a person who taught you. Right? You could have a maths teacher who was a master, and they refer to that person, lady or gent, as a master. So you have a situation where somebody thinks, oh, they're a master at something. They think and they believe sometimes, sadly, that they think they know everything about everything. And that automatically is taking them this way. And it's that bit, hopefully they'll learn from. They'll realise cup half full is always a great place to be. So, we are now going to do the 4th movement, and this is called the crane dancers. And this again is all to do with lifting and balancing, all right? So I'll show you the movement, and it looks reasonably simple. So your arms come up, your hands come up, sorry, and you place down, right there, okay? And you do it on the other leg. So your hands come up, and you place it down, all right? Now, there's a lot in that. Over the next few sessions, when we start again tomorrow, or should I say, the way it's looking, I think tomorrow is actually going to be, we'll be speaking on Monday, unless you're looking at this from some years time, this sort of thing, in which case it will be a Monday, but you won't realize it. Okay, so you're going to take your weight over, and then you're going to start to lift this knee. And if you imagine that your fingers have got some magic string attached to them, so once you get your knee starts to move, your arms are starting to move. Do you see that? If I put that back, I lean over and my fingers are starting to move because this is starting to go. Okay? And then what I do then is I lift it up and I place it down. Now when I place it down, my heel is going to go onto the floor first, and then my foot is going to go down. So my heel and then foot down. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to lift up, put my toes down first, and then sit my heel back, because as I do that, my body naturally starts to go backwards. All right? I want you to have it so your heel goes down and your toes drop there. So if I do this from the side, but on this leg, all right? So if we go, if I lean over, I lift up, take it up, put it down, heel there first. Okay? If you get really good at it, what you're going to find is that it's your whole of your foot that touches the ground like that. So you'll start off heel and then rolling, so heel, imagine this is your heel, heel, rolling down to your toes like that. You get really good at it, what you're going to find is that all this lot comes down and it's pretty much touching at the same time. Okay, but make sure it's heel first and then roll. Okay, so the moves I say is called crane dances, and if you look at a crane, often the males do some really weird things when it's sort of like, you know, the sort of like the mating season, spring, this type of thing. And what they'll do, and you'll see they'll go all sorts of weird things, and you know, the legs and the wings are going everywhere, that sort of stuff. So this is kind of like you know, showing that sort of dancing movement that they do. So let's try it again. So lean over. You're going to use your right knee, okay, to start with. Lift your hands up, which means your knee's coming up, and then place it down. All right. Now you'll see me wobble. I still don't get this bang on. When you go over here, okay, lift this one up. So up we go, up, and then down. Now, quick question to everybody who's watching. When I lift my knee, am I breathing in or am I breathing out? Okay? So when I lift my knee, am I breathing in or am I breathing out? The answer is, I'm breathing in, because my hands are coming up. Remember, if your hands are coming up, you're always breathing in. If your hands are coming down, you're always breathing out. So the second part to that question is when my knee's going down, I'm actually breathing out, because my hands are going down. Okay? So you lean over, and then you breathe in, and then breathe out. Okay? Then you do it on the other leg. So lean over, lift up the knee, breathe in, and then breathe out. Okay? Hopefully that's something that you guys can all practice, and you can all get some sort of fun from doing that. So far today we've added an extra stance on. So you've actually added a crane stance on. Very craney today. We've had a nice big warm-up for you to do. The new Tai Chi movement that you've actually got is the crane dances. So the crane lifts the knee and then down, and you've had a little bit more, if you like, facts into the book. A few more things written on your page of learning with this, with regards to the first three movements that we've been doing. What we've done over the last 2 days is a little bit more in there for you to do that. Last thing we're going to do today is I'm going to do a thing called dragon's egg, and the dragon's egg is reasonably easy to do. I'm going to do this because I've got to obviously teach you this. I'm going to do this with my eyes open, but I'll tell you the bits where I want your eyes shut, and this will test your balance big time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to really crouch down. Right now I'm stood on tufts of grass and everything, and you can't see this, but this is in my back garden, and there's great big lumps of grass, this sort of thing. So if I do wobble and fall over, you can have a good giggle. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to squat down. So if you squat down, go right the way down. Hopefully you can see me from there. All right, I want you to put your arms around like that. Okay, there. Okay, and what we're going to do, whoops, is we're going to lift up, lift your arms, and as soon as your arms get level with your with your shoulders, I want you to start to lift your heels off the floor. Okay, lift your heels off the floor. All right, and then you're going to cross your hands with your heels fully off the floor. You're going to cross your hands, and then you're going to slowly lower your heels down so they get level, and then you're going to come back up again,
and you're going to lift, and then you're going to go down again, okay? Down and lift and down, okay? So we're going to start off in a crouch position, all right? And we're going to try, if we can, to hold our hands. So we'll try that again. So down we go, all right? Hands across. Then start to push up. As we push up, push up. When you get level with your shoulders, start to lift your heels. Go up in the air, stretch up, cross your hands, come down, and then come up, and then down, okay? Up, so every time you lift up, your heels are coming. Every time you go up, heels go up, and then down, okay? Try again. There. All right, now, a few things to add. The dragon's egg is when you're down there in a squatting position. You lift up, the egg, the little dragon is born, okay? So up you go. And the little dragon stretches up in the air. All right, now remember your heels are up at this point there, okay? We'll do it without the heels up so I can talk. So up we go. And then you cross, and as you come down, your heels come down, and then you're up again, and then you're down, okay? So I want you to do 3. So 3 heel lifts, up, down. So 1, 2, 3, okay? 3 heel lifts. When you do this, the hard part about it isn't lifting your heels, although some of you will find that as you do this, you might sort of like move about and things. The hard part about it isn't that. The hard part about it is what I've not done yet, which is when you lift your arms up, I want you to stare up above your head and look at your hands crossing above your head, and then when they come down, look forwards. So when you go up, you're going to be up, then down, okay? So you're going to go forwards until they get here. When they get there, start to look up with your arms, with your hands, sorry, and your eyes. Up we go, and lift your heels, and then down. Look forwards, up, and then down, okay? That's hard part number 1. Hard part number 2, I still find difficult. Hard part number 2 is when you do that, try it with your eyes open to start with, but then do it with your eyes closed, okay? So go down to your egg, keep your eyes shut. This is, remember, this is last stage, so don't do this yet, okay? Build to this. Probably I should have kept this for another day, but let's give it you all at once. So down you go. Then when you come up, eyes are shut. So eyes shut, you're in your egg, okay? So you're down here, squat down, eyes shut, in your egg. Up we go, eyes are shut, lift up, look up, lift your heels, down. Okay, so eyes shut, up, down, up, down. Okay? 3 movements like that above your head. Now, as soon as you start to come out of the egg, I want you to breathe in through your nose. So you're breathing in, and as soon as you cross, you breathe out. As soon as you lift up, breathe in, and then breathe out. Breathing in, and then breathe out. Okay? That's a lot for you to try, a lot for you to learn. I probably should have broken down the dragon's egg into 2 sort of sessions, but you've got everything there on this particular film. Hope you're all well, and you practice everything that we've done from the first few days, including today. Remember, you're not going to get this in one go. The aim of it is to push you to do something different every day. At this moment in time, there'll be a lot of people who are feeling anxious, a lot of people who will be feeling sad. There's a lot of people out there trying ever so hard to keep everybody happy. Hopefully what I'm doing here is giving you guys something where you can actually do some exercise. No matter what your physical capability is, you can move these exercises to do whatever and however you want to put it. You can actually do these exercises, you know, pretty much on any physical level. Even if you were sat and you didn't have the ability to move around, you know, and maybe you're sat in a chair or wheelchair, this sort of thing, or you're struggling because you can't walk because of knee joints or hips or anything else, you can always do this stuff seated. You can be sat down and you can be lifting knees while you're sat there, or if you can't lift your knees because you don't have the use of your knees, you can use your arms, this sort of thing, and you can move your arms around, and you can, you know, you can get a lot of it from the upper body strength, this sort of thing. Okay, so hope you're all well, hope you're all healthy, and I will see you again for day 4, which will be directly after this video, but we're on Friday today. Day 3 is a Friday of the lockdown, so we're going to be on Monday, so it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. Okay, unless you're watching this from 2 or 3 years in the future, then who cares, it can just be day 4. All right, I had a good time, good practice, and we'll see you soon. And everybody, please take care. Okay, so I bring and bow. See you on the next session. Thank you.